Hello friends! So this is the short orientation video. I'm going to whiz through the things that you missed if you didn't get to come to the original orientation session. The next session, which is 14 days out, that one is more like a required thing. We really want people to be there, not only to be able to hand in the surveys that we had everyone who came live, but also that's where you get your thank you gift for participating. It's where you also get to, well, a whole host of other things. But yeah, if you guys are participating in a Facebook group that's going on where you get to ask questions and get some extra research, but also some little, do we call them competitions if they're fun-spirited? I'm not sure. Anyway, though, lots of fun things going on the next 14 days. Here's what you need to know about the oil study that you have decided to become a participant in. Number one, this is not a medical study. So if some of you are, for example, taking medications for something digestive and you're worried like, oh my goodness, do I have to stop taking this other thing? You don't. It's fine. It's not a medical study. So we are a little more easygoing. You're going to be comparing yourself and your experience to the previous weeks and using like a varied amount of the three products that come in your sweet little kit. I'm going to assume that everybody watching here already has their little packet that should have those three pre-product samples in it, and should also include your info sheet, which whatever, if you're digestive, if digestive is your thing, or sleep, or pain, or stress and mood. So whatever that is, you'll have that information sheet, which gives the directions for how to use each thing. Also, you'll have the survey. So this orientation is going to be something super short. I just need to walk through a couple basics of essential oils in general, and a couple walk through what you're going to be using. This is what you guys missed from the orientation. So the first cool thing about essential oils is that they're 100% natural and safe. You're going to be quizzed on this later. I hope you're paying attention. Everybody who came, if you answered correctly, you got chocolate. And I'm talking the homemade chocolate with 3 ingredients. My daughter actually makes them. And they're amazing. And so the ones that everybody got last time were cinnamon. They're little heart-shaped ones, cinnamon, and fantastic. So big hit. So first cool thing about essential oils is that they're 100% natural and safe. There is nothing added to them, nothing taken away. They are simply pure essential oils. You can count on having no side effects, no addictions. They're safe for babies, for children, for adults, for elderly. They are extracts from plants, and they have amazing health benefits. So a pure essential oil, like a doTERRA oil, is 50 to 70 times more powerful than herbs, than, whatever its counterpart is in herbs. And that means that 1 drop of peppermint essential oil from doTERRA is the same as what you would get by drinking 28 cups of peppermint tea. I know, crazy, right? Totally crazy. So I'm going to pretend that you're right here, and you can go ahead and hold out your hand. Go ahead, hold your hand out to me. I'm going to put a little drop of doTERRA peppermint in your hand. There it goes. Oh, look, I'm doing it along with you. So here we are, and I'm going to, with your drop that's in your hand, like all nice and shiny, stick your finger in that, and then put it in your eye. Just kidding, don't do that. So that would really hurt. So don't do anything crazy and put it in your eye. So if something like that ever were to happen, you accidentally get some in your eye from a splash or something like that, you're going to want to dilute it with fractionated coconut oil. Actually, you can use any carrier oil. I like the fractionated coconut oil because it doesn't really leave a real slimy feel, like greasy kind of stuff. It absorbs into the body pretty fast. But that's how you dilute an essential oil, is with more oil, a carrier oil, jojoba, olive oil, whatever it may be. So if you ever do that, remember, and it will definitely take away that stinging sensation really fast. Okay, so, but what we are going to do now, though, is we dip our finger in there, remember? Now you're going to swipe it on the roof of your mouth, just like that. Okay, now you're going to rub it together. You know what to do now? Yeah, that's what you do with most essential oils, right? You're going to breathe it in. Breathe it in. I wish you guys had some of this right now. Seriously, it's It's knock your socks off every time. Can't even tell you. Okay, so when we do this in the class and everybody actually does have peppermint, ooh, my tenses, like my senses are tingling. That is the most refreshing. I just feel like I'm ready to kiss everybody with all the freshening that's going on in here. I'm feeling alert. It's opening up my pathways for breathing. It's lovely. Okay. All right. So now that you've had that experience with some peppermint essential oil, part of the reason that it's so powerful is that it is CPTG. That stands for Certified Pure Therapeutic Grade. And these CPTG standards that an essential oil can have, it means that it's completely pure and potent. So pure meaning that there are no foreign contaminants, no fillers, and potent means that it was grown in its ideal part of the world where that particular plant grows best. Because when that plant grows best, then you're going to have the best chemistry for that plant. And then when you harvest the essential oil from the best of the best, then you get the best, most ideal results that really help our health, right? You get that extract that needs to do exactly what we want. So that's the first cool thing about essential oils, is that they're 100% natural and safe. Okay, quiz time. You ready? What is the first cool thing about essential oils? Rewind it if you need. What's that you say? You're right. That they're 100% natural and safe. You're awesome. Way to go. Here's a chocolate. It's a cute, sweet little cinnamon heart. You'll love it. I know, it's delicious. Okay, so on to the second cool thing, right? The second cool thing about essential oils is that they are more effective than many medications. So before we move on, I like to find out if any of the people watching are a medical professional of any sort, just because I want to like kind of get clearance from them to find out, like, are we okay with moving ahead at like biology 101 when people who've like really gone on in their medical studies, they're like, well, that's super simplified. So I'm going to super simplify. Is that okay? That way everybody can kind of like, get dumbed down to our level who haven't had that many years of training. Okay, I'm going to assume that you're saying yes, that you're nodding and be like, that's all good. All right, so let's say that this is a cell, and this is one of the cells that is in our body, and it has the oily membrane right around it. The two things that are dangerous for cells in our body are bacteria, which congregate on the outside and cause problems, or viruses, which duplicate the DNA on the inside. And both of those are bad in different ways. So bacteria outside, viruses inside. Okay, so let's say that you go to the doctor and you're like, I have this bacterial infection, doc, what should I do? What would they recommend to you? Yes, antibiotic, right? Yeah, bacteria, antibiotic, right? And after taking the antibiotic for 7 to 10 days, what's going to happen? Probably you will be successful, most likely, at killing that bacterial infection, which is great. It's what you wanted. That's why you went to the doctor, right? But often that's going to wreak a little bit of havoc on your gut. It's going to leave your immune system a little not so great. And even your hormones may be affected by it for several weeks afterwards. And but here's another question. What happens if you go and you actually have a virus and he tests you and you're like, oh, this is a viral infection? What's he going to do? He's going to say, go home and rest, right? He's going to say, go home and rest, drink a lot of water, let it run its course. And the reason why is because most of the recommendations for water-based synthetics can't penetrate to the inside of that cell. It's because that oily cell membrane that goes around it, right? So, and water and oil don't mix. So obviously that's not going to work, right? So essential oils are different from medication that's only water-based. And because they're oil-based, they can permeate that cell membrane, right? And when they work on the cellular level and they don't have any side effects or addictions, then we can call them more effective than the modern approach to medications, right? So that's the second cool thing about essential oils. Who wants to volunteer? Let me see, raise a hand. Raise a hand. What's the second cool thing about essential oils? What do you think? What is it? What's the second cool thing? Yes, you're right. It's that they are more effective than many modern medications, right? So, you get a prize. Congratulations. Here's your piece of chocolate. I know everybody loves coming to a live class. You totally do miss out. Also, afterwards, we have the most delicious essential oil infused snacks. I cannot even tell you how much you're going to want to make it to the concluding study. Right. So the third cool thing about essential oils is that they are cheaper than medical care. Well, I should say conventional medical care, right? They are kind of medical care. So, all right. So I'm going to have you volunteer to tell me what your copay is. What's that you say? Is it $30? Is it $45? Is it $10? Are you Canadian and you have United Healthcare, and so you actually pay $0 as a copay when you go to the doctor? Well, that's awesome. I'm going to take that number 0. So whatever your copay was, we're going with 0. All right, so you go to the doctor, and that's what you pay for your copay. Now, say you had an antibiotic that your doctor prescribed to you, and you go to the pharmacy, and you have that you have to fill that prescription. How much does that cost you? $20, $10, 8, 5, 0. Okay, we'll go with 0. Whatever it is for you, it's probably not lower than 0, right? Nobody pays you actually right now. So when somebody in my family has an ear infection, I take 2 drops of lavender and 2 drops of Melaleuca, and I get that nice and diluted, and I rub it in front of and behind both ears. And I send my kiddo to bed. And in 12 hours, when they wake up, maybe I'll apply a second time. Maybe it's completely gone. But in 12 hours, instead of 7 to 10 days of antibiotics, my kid doesn't have that infection anymore. And it has only cost me 64 cents. I know, 64 cents to treat an ear infection, right? And so even if your thing was 0 and you're like 64 cents, 0, yeah, you still had to go to the doctor with gas money. You still had to take half day off of work or whatever to bring your kid in. You still have to pay for the probiotics to try to rebalance your gut after that was the issue there, right? So all of these things, they all add up, and I always throw in the extra thing too, because when I take one of my kids to the doctors, everybody else has to go too. Mother of 5 here. So everybody ends up with some sort of infection. It's never good. And so yeah, to be able to treat it at home, being super empowered for 64 cents, yes, thank you. In fact, I would say that we save hundreds of dollars a year because we do have these kinds of natural solutions at home. You can't afford not to spend money on these natural solutions. It is definitely much more affordable than conventional medical care. So that's the cool thing about essential oils. The third one. Anyone? One of the tier? I know. What's the third cool thing about essential oils? Yes, you got it. It's that they are more affordable than conventional medical care. All right, so we'll do a little recap here. 3 cool things. They are 100% natural and safe. They are more effective than our most common medical solutions. And they are cheaper than conventional medical care. So all very awesome things. Okay, so super fast, 3 ways to use them. We'll go through this, we'll totally whiz, right? So aromatic is the first cool way to use essential oils. So if you guys want to take your fingers and pinch the bridge of your nose, you guys just bring it right up there. So right underneath your fingers is where the olfactory nerve is. And you can put your fingers down because you're looking kind of silly. So this olfactory nerve is the way that it sends messages to the brain through the limbic system. And from there, it actually affects your entire body. So I know sometimes people think it's a little hokey and you're like thinking I'm a little crazy about this, right? But consider this. You go to the dentist and they need to sedate you to do whatever, root canal, whatever it may be, and they need to sedate you. They don't give you a shot, right? to sedate you. They don't give you a pill, right? They put a mask over your nose and they tell you to breathe in. Well, I know, yeah, it's all connecting now, isn't it? So in as little as 30 seconds of breathing in that synthetic laughing gas, right, you're gonna start to feel that olfactory nerve is being utilized, and it's all going up into the limbic system, and it's causing your whole body to just like conk out, right? Maybe even euphorically conk out. And really, really relaxing, right? So that's one of the fastest ways to access the brain is through that olfactory nerve that we just pointed to. So it happens exactly the same way for essential oils because those are natural compounds instead of synthetic. And they just, you know, again, they go right in through our limbic system, all that. And it happens in as little as 30 seconds, right? So aromatically, we like to breathe them in right from our hand, right? We did that from the peppermint, you remember? We also like to use diffusers sometimes. You guys have seen those little puffer machines, right? They go. Those are awesome as well to break up the molecules and get them kind of into the air in a way that we can breathe them in. And sometimes you can also just, you know, take off the cap and breathe it right from the bottle. That's aromatic as well. Okay, so I would like to give you guys another experience with wild orange. I know you've been hoping that I would have you hold out your hand so I could give you some more wild orange, right? Okay, so hold out your hand. Here it comes. Ready? All right, there's your wild orange drop. Did you get it? I know it's all smelling so good right now, isn't it? Breathe that in. That is some wonderful stuff too, right? Okay, so topically, when we use I lost my place. Pardon me. Okay, topically, the second way that we use essential oils is that we can actually apply them directly to the skin. So we put that right there in their hand, right? And if you have babies or elderly people or people with sensitive skin, you do want to dilute with a fractionated coconut oil or some other carrier oil. It is actually just as effective to use the oil diluted. It just takes a little longer to absorb into the whole rest of the body versus when you have the pure oil, it absorbs very quickly into the bloodstream. So, and you can apply on the bottoms of your feet. That's a really good way, especially for babies, and it's not going to affect them poorly, right? It won't cause any sensitivity. I wonder if any of you guys can tell me what is a good reason to use essential oils topically. Yes, pain. That would be a great one. Good idea. Yeah, so like shoulder pain or something like that, you're going to want to put that on your skin, on your shoulder, put that essential oil there, allow it to kind of work into the tissues, and actually using some fractionated coconut oil to help it stay in those tissues is a really good way as well. Who has any other ideas? Sunburn, you say? Yes, sunburn would be a fantastic way to be able to like get some essential oil into your skin right there. Another reason for topical. I'm sure you guys can come up with a bunch more. I'm going to try to keep this short though, so I'm going to keep moving on. I'm going to go to internally. That's the third way that we can use essential oils, and that is only if they are CPTG, Certified Pure Therapeutic Grade. Okay, so not only does that CPTG rating mean that they're safe, it means that they're actually recommended to take internally. So I'm going to have you guys take a super quick look. It'll say right there on the bottle, CPTG, and it also says for internal use, dilute 1 drop in 4 fluid ounces of liquid. Okay, so it's written right there on the bottle, and these are safe to take internally, right? So you can put them in your mouth. You know, we did the little swipe. You can put them in a veggie cap if you don't like the taste. I love the taste of all the citrus oils in water. That was really amazing. So it's just like concocting your own little natural remedy. It's so fantastic. All right, and I'm going to move on and let you guys know a couple more things before I finish up my recording. So because everybody's bodies work a little bit differently, we are going to want to have people pay attention to how each individual medication works for them. So when you're looking at, say like a medical experience, you go and you ask the doctor for like a sleep medication, for example, the doctor will give you something, you go home and try it, and say you wake up in the morning, you're like, well, that didn't work. I'm never using pharmaceuticals again, right? Nobody actually says that, because everybody kind of knows when we're working with medications, each individual body may work a little bit differently. So with that said, consider also, that's how it is with essential oils. You may want to go back and just try again for something that's a little bit different for your particular body type. It's not weird. It's just the way that if you can be patient with essential oils the way you are with medications, we're definitely going to find you a solution for your issues that works really well. Okay, so there are 4 different studies that we're doing, and I'm going to go over each one kind of quickly. You'll notice here for digestion, they have the Terrazyme. That one is designed to be taken as a little supplement. You take the capsule with your largest meal. For peppermint, that one you'll have a little dram of peppermint and also a second dram of Digest Zen. Both of those are supposed to be used like this. So you take the top off, you turn the dram over, the orifice reducer doesn't allow it to come out, so you have to tap to be able to get some right there in your hand, okay? So that drop of essential oil is gonna go onto your tummy, because we're helping our digestive juices flow and all that kind of stuff. So that's gonna be very supportive for your health. You'll want to chart it on the bottom of your sheet here, for which day that you're going to use it. Let us know, did you actually take the Terrazyme with your largest meal, yes or no? Did you use peppermint, and how many times a day? So you're looking at doing 1 to 2 drops. This orifice reducer is a little bit smaller than when you're using it from the larger bottle. So 2 or 3 taps from the dram is equivalent to 1 drop from the larger essential oil bottle. So do keep that in mind when you're reading it, say like one drop or 2 drops or something like that. You're getting to double it if it's coming from the dram. Does that make sense? That makes sense. Okay, so Digestin also can be used internally. You can put it in water if you like that. My husband happens to like it under his tongue, like whatever you need. So what issues of heartburn or nausea or constipation or diarrhea or whatever your thing may be. And don't forget to fill out your study survey before you start using the things. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and move on past that and go on to the pain one. So if you're in the pain track, you are going to have a sheet that looks more like this. And for that one, the 3 things that we're trying are a packet of Deep Blue. This is the lotion form of the essential oil, and so you've got a couple of those. You're just supposed to rub your fingertip to spread it around 2 to 3 times a day. So if it's back pain or whatever it may be, you just rub that around. You also have Aroma Touch, and you have Copaiba in there. And so for both of those, you're going to apply 1 to 2 drops to areas that feel like they're inflamed or don't have very good circulation. I'm not quite finished yet, lovey. So any place that you have that discomfort, you're going to want to go ahead and give that a try. And again, you can chart it for which day and how often you used it, how many times a day you did. And again, we're going for 2 to 3 times a day, right? Because we're trying to find out if this is working for you. And you are permitted to go back and forth between Aroma Touch one day, Copaiba the next, but each time we want to be using several times a day of whatever that is, or a combination of the 2. Okay, and then let's go on to the sleep study. This one is, if that's you, then yours looks like this, and your products are the Serenity soft gels, and that's, you take one of the little soft gels before bedtime, just drink it back like a vitamin. And we were also giving you guys a vetiver and Serenity. One special thing about the vetiver, so both of them you're going to want to put a drop. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, it's a little bit different. What's written here is that it says to put a drop of the vetiver or Serenity on your neck and pillow. We're changing that. It's neck and wrist, okay? In fact, I would say the back of the neck, the wrist, and also the bottom of the big toe. Okay, these essential oils are very high quality. Putting them on the fabric isn't going to be quite as good a use of them. So we totally should have changed that. Sorry that we didn't get that changed, right? So yeah, so I really like to put some like on my wrist and kind of like, you know, sleep there on my pillow, like with my wrist next to it, breathe it in. It's really great. So vetiver, I have to tell you though, we skipped the orifice reducer. That means when you open up your vetiver, it won't have the white little thing on top because vetiver is so thick. The viscosity is crazy. So you're not going to have the orifice reducer. So you're just going to want to do a little tippage action and make sure there's some on your finger. That goes on the bottom of the toe, maybe goes on the wrist, goes on the neck, things like that. But do be careful about spilling it all out. But vetiver grows so slow, I don't think you should have a problem. All right, so sleep study people, you guys get to mark off whether you took your Serenity soft gel and how many times you used Serenity versus vetiver. Again, you can go whatever combination you like, whatever feels good to you, whatever is working for you. But we do want you to try a couple times a day. And again, this for sleep study specifically, if you're waking up in the middle of the night, like if 4 o'clock is your alarm clock time or something, and you just, you know, have a hard time going back to sleep after that, your body just won't shut down or whatever, go ahead and do more of one or the other and see what works best for you. The last one that we have here is for stress and anxiety. So this is what your thing will look like if that was you. And that is balance. I always say start with balance. A lot of people really, really like that one. Adaptive is amazing also. So the basic idea is to apply 1 to 2 drops in your palm. You rub it onto the back of your neck and then breathe it in. And usually 30 seconds, you want it to really have a chance to enter in through the alveoli of the lungs and really help that. And during stressful times, you're going to want to repeat it. But as a baseline, please do it upon waking and when you're going to bed. That's your minimum. Preferably at least get it in a third time. You know, if you can keep it in your pocket with you, something like that, that'd be great. Have it with you if you're just about to go into a meeting with your boss and you get a little freaked out, or if you recognize, this is how I do with balance, you recognize that you're yelling at your kids and you can't seem to stop. I have 5, so a part of me, it's expected. Kids are just, you know, sometimes like that. Everybody has good days, bad days. But I have better days when I use balance, as do they. Okay, so adaptive, you're going to do the same kind of thing. You're going to put like a drop or 2, or that's a tap or 2, or 3 or 4, you know, in your palm and rub it in. Wild orange, I tend to use a little bit more as a pick-me-up. I love it in the afternoons personally. It's amazing. It really does something to kind of like, yeah, just snap you out of like the negative mindset, right? So, and do also make sure when you're filling out your form for this kind of thing, go ahead and mark down, you know, what exactly it is that you're struggling with stress and mood. Is it just the feelings of panic and overwhelm? Do you edge into the depression kind of things, or is it mostly the anxiety? We just want to make sure that we start with a good understanding of where you're at. That way we can kind of test it against the post-study, right? So, and again, the same kind of things you're going to be checking off to see what you, how many times you used each of which ones per day. And I want you to feel free to flow back and forth between as you like. Okay, so we reviewed the schedule, we reviewed the expectations. Actually, this is something I should mention. So we do have a Facebook group that is not only fun, but we'd really like to see you guys participating. If you do not have a Facebook profile at all, if you've never gotten one in your whole life, which most people have at least got one, then you need to let us know if it was, you know, me or whoever it was invited you to this oil study. let us know so that we can plug you into getting those little bits of information. Usually something like twice a day we'll post a little something. Many times there'll be a little bit of additional research into something that you're using. We want people to kind of share some testimonies on there, and definitely feel free to ask questions. You know, it's set up for you to be able to get information from that, and to encourage you to be using it every day, because I know 14 days, it can get long, and you know, it's not quite in habit mode. We want to keep you guys motivated to use it. We also do have a required 2 phone check-ins. So we need to arrange a time to be able to call, and just between 2 to 5 minutes. If things are going really well, you're like, I'm seeing results, I'm working on the bottom of my toe, or whatever it is that you know, for your study, for your specific thing. If things are going well, it'll be a very short check-in. If we need to troubleshoot or maybe even get you something else, we'll take the longer time to make sure we have what you need there. And yeah, and then come back for the concluding session to collect all your prizes and thank you gifts and things like that, and turn in your forms. All right, so the one last thing, oh my goodness, I think I actually forgot it. Do I have it here? I think I left it. Sorry, guys. So also in your packet, you'll find this cute little green book. It's called the A to Z Guide. When you open it up, you'll find that you can look up, you know, specific issues. Like you can look up insomnia, or you can look up stress, or like whatever it is. You can flip through, and it'll give you a couple ideas of how to use some essential oils for that. In the back part of the book, you'll see that it actually lists. So say, for example, if your sample is of peppermint, you may be curious, what else does peppermint do besides help my digestion, you know? So that's a handy dandy little thing, little extra for you to take a look at and peruse through, see what kind of things that you guys are looking to treat otherwise naturally. That is the last part, as much as I can think of, for this orientation. So I'm going to go ahead and stop recording. Please do be on the lookout for a call from either me or whoever it was that invited you to the oil study, and we'll connect to make sure you get into that Facebook group and to get the checkups so that you can be just, you know, sure that you're using it well for the next 14 days. Many hugs to all of you. Look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks. Great, talk to you then. Bye.